To inspire and nurture the human spirit, one person, one cup, and one neighborhood at a time. This is the mission of Starbucks Coffee Company, which is the largest coffee house chain in the world. But what exactly is Starbucks? Jerry Baldwin, Gordon Boker, and Zev Siegel founded Starbucks in 1971, and it opened its first establishment in Seattle's historic Pike Place market. Howard Schultz, Starbucks chairman and chief executive officer, had first walked inside a Starbucks location in 1981. Howard was captivated to Starbucks and joined a year later. He became the head of marketing. When the business sent Schultz to Milan to attend an international housewares exhibition in the spring of 1983, he had his biggest vision for the future of Starbucks. However, the three founders did not agree to Howard's idea, so he left and started his own business. Later on, he was able to acquire Starbucks and has now become the biggest global coffee chain, whose net worth is $30 billion based on its revenue and profits over the last 3 years. Starbucks' global expansion shows no signs of slowing down. There were about 31,300 Starbucks locations worldwide as of the end of 2019. Question: how did Starbucks survive and become the company they are now despite the competition in the business world? To answer that question, we are going to analyze Starbucks using Porter's 5 forces. But first, let me introduce to you Porter's 5 forces and the man who created it. Porter's 5 forces is a strategy for determining an industry's vulnerabilities and strengths by identifying and analyzing 5 competitive forces that define every business. Michael E. Porter, a Harvard Business School professor, born on May 23, 1947, is an American economist, corporate strategist, and social activist who is well known for his thoughts on economics, company strategy, and social concerns. Michael E. Porter is the creator of the 5 forces concept. The 5 key forces are competitive rivalry, supplier power, buyer power, threat of substitution, and the threat of new entry. To explain further the 5 key forces, we have Starbucks and Porter's 5 forces. First, threat of new entrants. Starbucks is at medium threat. Starbucks has a large market share and have strong brand identities within the industry. New entrants can compete with brands like Starbucks at local level. However, their possibility of being successful remains low to moderate. Starbucks has grabbed a large market share based on its infrastructure, efficiency, and product quality. Still, switching costs being low, the new brands can attract customers using lower prices. So the threat of new entrants remains. However, it gets mitigated to a large extent by brand image, market share, and other factors like brand loyalty. Many companies have gained very loyal customer bases from their past advertisements, customer service, objective product differentiations, and early entry into the industry. All of this makes it more difficult for new entrants to gain a solid customer base. Second key force is the threat of substitutes. Starbucks has moderate to high threat. These external factors enable smaller firms to do business and compete against Starbucks Corporation. On the other hand, brand development is costly. In the context of the 5 forces analysis model, this condition reduces the threat of substitution. For example, small coffee houses do not have enough resources to develop their brands. Also, brand development typically requires years to reach the level of strength of the Starbucks brand. Substitutes are readily available in numerous forms such as cans, bottles of ready-to-drink coffee, cold ice cartons of ready-to-drink coffee, instant powders, supermarkets' own brand coffee brands, even other hot and cold drinks will be classed as threats as they can impact on their market. These substitutes can be bought in various locations such as supermarket, corner stores, vending machine, petrol stations, local cafes, fast foods places, and even local public houses. The third force is the bargaining power of buyers. Starbucks is high threat. The bargaining power of buyers, one of the forces in Porter's 5 forces industry analysis framework, refers to the pressure that customers or consumers can put on businesses to get them to provide higher quality products, better customer service, and or lower prices. It is important to keep in mind that the bargaining power of buyers analysis is conducted from the perspective of the seller. The bargaining power of buyers would refer to customers or consumers who use the products or services of the company. Starbucks' bargaining power of buyers is at high threat because with newer entries and competitors like McDonald's, Dunkin' Donuts, Costa Coffee, and thousands of small local coffee shops, cafes, claiming to offer premium roast coffee of good quality at a reduced price, purchasers now have slightly more bargaining power than in the past. Supplier power. Starbucks is at low threat. One of the five Porter's forces is the bargaining power of suppliers. If suppliers have very strong bargaining power, they can bargain away any of the profits to that industry. Starbucks is able to take advantage of its size and benefit of economies of scale. It is also growing with the coffee farmers directly that has helped it gain higher control over its supply chain. By using different suppliers, it also helps to ensure that they have a steady supply of product. The bargaining power of suppliers is further weakened because of the large overall supply. Starbucks is facing intense competition, which means an abundance of choices for the customers, and there are many suppliers of coffee around the world. Now, supplier power for Starbucks is at low threat because the commodities and other raw materials used by Starbucks are being supplied by a number of suppliers. Starbucks works a large number of suppliers worldwide, and the massive supply requirements by Starbucks make it paramount for the suppliers. The switching cost of Starbucks is not high. And lastly, to complete the five forces, we have competitive rivalry. Starbucks is moderate to high threat. At the center of the five forces model industry competition arising from rivalries among existing firms. Starbucks Coffee Company not only faces a large number of competitors, but a large variety of competitors. But despite that, Starbucks is still the leading coffee chain worldwide. Starbucks has many rivals, which includes Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, Wheat Bread, and Costa Coffee. The external factors contribute to the strong force of competition are a large number of firms, moderate variety of firms, and it would also be a low-cost switch to change to a competitor. Many of coffees and beverages being served by Starbucks are also being served by the competitors. There are a few products that are unique to Starbucks that have helped it build the brand loyalty amongst customers. Thus, the competitive rivalry is high for Starbucks. Starbucks has managed to differentiate itself from competitors by creating the unique value proposition of becoming the third place for customers after home and the workplace. Customers were able to order customized drinks and enjoy the beverage in a relaxed, upscale environment. Here's a summary of Starbucks with the use of Porter's five forces analysis. Threats of new entrants is at medium threat. Threat of substitutes is at moderate to high threats. Bargaining power of buyers is at high threats. Supplier power is at low threats. And competitive rivalry is at moderate to high threats. This implies that Starbucks must consider measures to retain people loyal to their brand in order to limit the pace at which their customers may be stolen by competitors, so that Starbucks may continue to be at the top of the coffee house chain in the world.